Test, test, 1, 2, 3. How's that coming down?
Yeah, if that's okay, man. Let's go from there. Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, no worries. Bye.
So let's both the teams back together on the fielders. Have a big round of applause for the Valentine Junior under 8 and under 6 girls. Girls have played this morning and come down to watch the big fellas play, so hopefully they have a good time today. Thanks to their mums and dads for bringing them down and being part of the experience today.
Hello and welcome to Carl Oval this afternoon for round 18 of the PlayStation 4 NPL Northern New South Wales. Great to have your company for this huge match. Valentine Phoenix up against the Maitland Magpies. Valentine in third, Maitland in sixth. A win this afternoon for the Phoenix. And it probably all but sews up a spot in the top 4 for Maitland. They must win this afternoon, anything else. And things become very difficult for them in the race to the top 4. So 90 minutes of football await us here at the home of the Phoenix, Carl Oval. Cameron Burns is our referee this afternoon. Nice winter's day here in Belmont. 18 degrees. The wind fairly light, only 8 kilometres an hour from the west-southwest. So a beautiful day for football. Valentine in there, bright orange from right to left of screen in the opening half. Maitland in there, home kit as well, predominantly white from left to right of screen. Cameron Burns will get them underway for the second time this season. These two sides meet. Valentine won 4-0 in round 7 up on a cold night at Cook Square Park. So we're underway. Daniel Miners quickly looking wide for Josh Carroll to get us underway. Valentine have won 2 of their last 3. Both of those here at Carl Oval. And Maitland won last weekend against the Bears 3-2 in a seesawing battle at Rockwell Automation Park last Saturday. So Valentine's last match, they didn't play last weekend. They had the bye, and they played the Jets Youth a week and a half ago. So they'll have another week off next weekend, Valentine. So it's a bit stop-start for them as Matt Paul curls this one in, and Matt Trott gets an early grab in goals for Maitland, the experienced goalkeeper, and he looks quickly to release Matt Thompson. Wide for Liam Thornton now. Chips it up the line and over the touchline. So, yeah, Valentine, they'll play this weekend. They'll miss the round 19 match next weekend because, of course, the Jets Youth were their opponents next weekend, but they had to play that one a week and a half ago as the Jets playing the Weifang Cup as Chris Brown just can't keep the shots out. The Jets heading overseas this coming Thursday over to China for that competition. So Valentine will have another week off, and they really need to win this one because they'll only have 3 matches left. And at the moment, it's shaping up as though about 35, 36 points, maybe the cutoff for the top 4. That's how strong the competition has been this season as Jalen Brown brings the ball down. This man has been part of Valentine's surge up the ladder in 2017 as Matt Comerford. Back he goes to Matt Trott. Puts it high into the Belmont sky. Thornton down for Thompson. Yeah, last start against the Jets for Valentine. They got the job done 3-2. That match, well, one of the goals was shown even on Fox Sports. Daniel Miners with a stunning strike on the volley from probably about 35 metres out after a corner that the Jets Youth couldn't clear. James Tassel now on the ball for the Magpies. Sokulski. Got a few out this afternoon, Maitland. We've mentioned previously the 3 that are overseas at the moment. Blake Thompson, Jordan Elphick, Justin Broadley. But Shane Cansdell-Sheriff, the experienced centre-back, he's out as well due to yellow card accumulation. His 5th yellow card of the season last weekend up at Western. This one chipped forward for Ryan Clark, who scored last weekend against the Bears. A well-worked goal from him. Piece of individual skill and speed as Josh Dutton-Black. He also scored last weekend. He scored 2 against the Bears, including the match winner. With less than 10 minutes to go in that one. Matt Thompson now for Comerford. He's got Wilson Edwards in front of him. He takes him on. Still Matt Comerford. Another weaving run from him, and he squares it up to Chris Fayers. The ball somehow doesn't find its way into the back of the net. Matt Comerford runs into the side of the net, and Zach Hill for Maitland to Chris Fayers. Now Ryan Clark just can't keep possession. Will result in a Magpies throw. A real derby-like feel about this match. These two sides have played some wonderful battles over the years. 2014, they were both in the new FM division, fighting it out for promotion. And on that occasion, it was Maitland who won twice that season. This ball shoots off into the grandstand. That year, Maitland, 2 of those 3 matches they won, and they earned promotion. They only lost 1 match the whole season, did the Magpies, and that was to the Phoenix. And Valentine, they only lost 2 matches that year, and that was to the Magpies. So Maitland just earning promotion ahead of Valentine that year, 3 points ahead of them on the ladder. And then a year later, Valentine would win promotion. Matt Paul, well, almost finding Chris Brown. That would have been a tremendous ball. It's Jalen Brown. Goes down for Riley Russell. Nice pass from him to McGinley, who then sends it wide for Chris Brown. He's got Carroll in the middle. Thornton somehow gets it away with his knees. It was unorthodox, but it did the job. Matt Comerford thought it came off the arm of Daniel Miners, but Cameron Burns allows play to go on. Chris Brown now back for McGinley. Skews off the side of his boot. Now back for Valentine skipper. Didn't have a great weekend 2 Saturdays ago. He missed a penalty just before half-time against Adamstown when the Phoenix were leading 2-0 in that one. Could have been 3-0. And then in the second half, Adamstown piled on 4 goals to produce a stunning fight back. One of the best of the season, probably the best of the season to date. There's James Tassel. Chips it up the line. You'd probably say Valentine at the moment entrench in the top 4, but if they didn't make it, that match would probably be the one that you'd say will come back to bite them. It's McGinley out of Matt Paul. Can't get his header to a teammate, and Matt Thompson now to Thornton, and now Comerford. Back for Liam Thornton. Threads the needle to Ryan Clark. Very, very dangerous and quick on his feet. It's Ryan Clark as this ball through for Jalen Brown. Up the top of the Golden Boot leaderboard at the moment. Jalen Brown with 11 goals. He's there with fellow Lake Macquarie side he plays for. And Sam Walker plays for the Roosters. So Valentine and Lake Macquarie, the 2 sides from Lake Macquarie City Council area, doing very, very well this season. Rain Ferguson next best on 9 with Kane Goodchild as well. Rain Ferguson in action this afternoon against Lambton Jaffers. We'll bring you the scores from the other grounds when they come in. Charlestown and Lambton, and the Jets Youth up against Western. 2 important matches as well. Western and the Jets Youth more so at the bottom of the ladder to try and see if the Bears can get themselves off the bottom rung of the ladder. Josh Dutton-Black has to stab a ball through for Clark, but Riley Russell back for Reese Pettit. Pettit goes back to Scott Carter. He's had some issues with injury this season as Scott Carter, so he's back, his second game back from injury. Perry Budden played 5 matches through the middle portion of the season. Was very, very good in goals. There's some great goalkeepers in the local competition. And some goalkeepers sitting on the bench that could well play first grade. We've seen Tyler Warren at Hamilton step up this season. After Danny Ireland, it's been announced that Danny Ireland will not be playing for the remainder of the season due to illness. Zach Hill chips this one forward. Alec Clark rises. A Phoenix throw. I think you'll remember last year, if you don't, it was a cracking match in round 2 it was, here at Carl Oval between these 2 sides. That was the last time Maitland beat the Phoenix. The Phoenix have won their last 2 encounters, 4-0 this season at Cook Square Park and 1-0 at the same venue last season. And that would have been in round 11. Sikulski skews a pass back to Hill, and now Thornton. And 3-2 it was on that occasion. It was 2-2. And then in the last minute, a back pass to keeper Bain Marco. He took a touch and then cleared it straight into Maitland's Matt Thompson, who tapped home the ball into an empty net, and Maitland won the match. Stole 3 points on that occasion. There were some fisticuffs early on, a red card each inside the opening 20 minutes. Dean Heffernan sent off for Maitland, who's no longer with the side now due to work commitments, and Wilson Edwards for the Phoenix was given his marching orders in that same scuffle. This ball will trickle over the byline for Magpies goal kick. No ill feeling early on here between the two sides. Just over 10 minutes gone in the first day of round 18 of the NPL Northern New South Wales, where 3 matches will be played. 2 tomorrow, Broadmeadow Magic up against Adamstown Rosebud, and the match of the round at Darling Street. Hamilton Olympic face off against Edgeworth. Should be a very, very good contest. It was, well, earlier in the season, the FFA Cup, and last year and the year before that. These two sides of Hamilton and Edgeworth, I should say, have played some great contests over the last few seasons as Maitland push forward. Right, it goes for Clark towards the back post where Josh Dutton-Black was waiting. Back for Comerford on the turn. It deflects, and fortuitously for Scott Carter, straight into his lap. Both sides just feeling each other out at the moment. No great chances as of yet. No really early goals to put the pressure on the other side, because there is a lot riding on this one as Chris Fayes to Sokulski. Both Fayes and Sokulski, some couple of young Maitland players in the middle of the park. There's a nice ball from Sokulski to Clark. Does he get dragged down? He does. And it will be a penalty. Very early on, Maitland with a chance just to ease the pressure a little bit with a spot kick. Ryan Clark adjudged to have been pulled to ground. And you would expect it'll be Matt Thompson who will step up to take the penalty here. He's already scored 4 this season, 7 goals, 4 of them from the spot. Can he make it 5? Scott Carter, maybe just having a few words to Matt Thompson as well. Just trying to do his best to put the Maitland, the star Maitland midfielder. What a career he's had. So here we go. Thompson comes in, slots it home. Easy as you like from Matt Thompson. And Maitland start this huge match with a goal. They lead by 1-0 inside the opening quarter hour. Massive goal for the Magpies. Valentine will have to play from behind. Matt Paul quickly off the kickoff, trying to find Chris Brown. And really that was the first opening, and now Jalen Brown has a chance to run it. Maitland's defence goes to ground, and Daniel Miners back for McGinley. Both these sides like to play on the counter-attack as Miners gets taken to ground, as McGinley, I should say, gets taken to ground. Wins the free kick for the Phoenix. Daniel Miners chipping it forward, and Pettit tries to flick it towards goal. Russell wide, he goes for Matt Paul. Daniel Miners, we spoke of his, just an offside. The free kick will go the way of the Magpies. Daniel Miners scored a super goal against the Jets here the week and a half ago. Well, he struck a great strike against Maitland back in round 7 as well from just outside the 18-yard box. Bulleted it home in that 4-0 victory. In fact, that's actually the first goal Maitland have scored since against Valentine, I should say, since that match here at Carl Oval last year in round 2. So they don't have a great record at Cook Square Park of late against Valentine, but when they come to Carl Oval, they seem to be better. As here's an early yellow card for Scott McGinley. Won the free kick a moment ago, and this time he's the villain and goes into the book for a yellow card. So we'll have to be careful for the remaining 75 minutes now. As Hill across to Thornton. Now Comerford with the back heel, but Ryan Clark's speed up front. We spoke about these two sides, the similar styles on the counter-attack. They both got speed in the front third, and that's why they'll be looking to exploit each other, as Clark is just offside. Ryan Clark and Matt Comerford up front for Maitland are in that front third, and for Valentine they've got the speed of Jalen Brown, who, as we mentioned earlier, scored 11 goals this season. Has already scored 11 goals for Valentine. Patted over the top, looking for that man, Jalen Brown. He beats Thornton and Hill with ease, but he's got no one in the middle. And the corner is the end result. So not a bad one for Jalen Brown, considering he was out on his own down that right flank. And Matt Paul will head over to whip this one in. Made the move to Valentine, of course, from Adamstown last season. 6 goals last year. 3 already this season, Matt Pauls. He curls that one in. Up they rise, and Reese Pettit and Alec Faulkner all both there, I should say, and just couldn't get on the end of it. There's Wilson Edwards with aerial ping pong for the moment. Chris Brown scored some great goals as well, as a Scotsman. Scored in round 1 against Charlestown, round 5 against the Rosebuds, and just a few weeks ago, round 15 against the Jefferson. Wasn't that a lovely goal right on the stroke of half time? Charlestown City Blues leading Lambton. Jaffers 1-0 early on as this ball chipped towards Brown. Matt Trott is up there. Comerford takes them on. Gets away from Miners. Takes him on again and beats him, and now easily runs past Matt Paul. What a run this is from Comerford. His ball in is well defended by Reese Pettit. Valentine survived that mini raid from Comerford. It's the throw from Thornton. Now to Clark. He's got Dutton Black in the middle. He's also got Fayers at the top of the 18-yard box. In the end, he finds neither of them. And McGinley pleading for the yellow card. Maybe more than pleading. Telling Cameron Burns it should be a yellow card for James Tassel, but it was well inside the Phoenix half. Would have been a big moment. Tassel goes into the book, the right back going into the referee's book. Matt Paul now. That's the back line for Reese Pettit. His ball central finds the one and only Matt Thompson, who finds Sikulski and Liam Thornton. Edwards gets his boot to it. Now Carl Thornton, who's dropped, has played in the screening defensive midfield role for much of the season, but now he's dropped back into play centre back with the departures which have occurred for the Magpies. Cairnsdale Sheriff, of course, out with suspension, but Blake Thompson overseas, normally playing in that role for the Magpies. As McGinley, lovely ball wide for Riley Russell, goes low, and Zach Hill is there. Tassel with the clearance, and Clark is given a tug by Matt Paul. So yeah, huge scoreline at Arthur Eden Oval. The Charlestown City Blues leading by a goal to nil against the Jaffers. Is there a potential upset brewing in that one? And up at Western currently, it is the Jets leading by a goal to nil against the Bears after the Bears went down to the Jets A-League side by 2 goals to nil on the weekend. So a goal in each of the matches thus far. So some early goals for those 3 sides. Clark takes on Faulkner, and his touch is a little heavy. Reece Pettit really was dancing with danger there with Ryan Clark haring down on him. Here's Daniel Miners. It's away from Sokulski. Got a bit of a tug there, Daniel Miners. I think the Valentine bench were wanting the free kick to be paid by Cameron Burns. Not done so. And Maitland back for Matt Trott. Just hoofs it up the ground. Alec Faulkner rises. Now McGinley wins the free kick. McGinley wants to play it quickly, but definitely wasn't on the mark. Maitland will get a chance to get their defensive line set. Phoenix down 1-0, but they've only lost once here all season. In that match as well, they conceded the first goal. They went down to Broadmeadow Magic by, there's this one now to Chris, whipped in towards Chris Brown and dealt with in the end. Not entirely convincingly, but it will be a corner for Valentine. They've only lost once here all season. 3-1 it was to Broadmeadow Magic in round 14. And Valentine's defence has been strong for much of the opening period of the season, but they haven't kept a clean sheet in 4 matches, so it hasn't hurt them too much. They've won 2 of their last 3. And again here, no clean sheet for them as Josh Dutton-Black charges downfield. Daniel Miners is there and did really well, did Daniel Miners. Now for McGinley. He's got Josh Carroll at the back post. Squares it up. Maitland scrambling all of a sudden here. Valentine just upping the pressure a little here since conceding. They conceded first here in round 15 against the Jaffers. Came back to win 2-1. So they know how to win from behind the Phoenix. Josh Carroll, not one of his best corners, but Daniel Miners, visions there of that strike against the Jets youth, but Maitland shut him down. Comerford through the middle, he had Chris Faze across to the right. Now Matt Paul. Edwards. And Liam Thornton will track back. And his ball, Wayward. Looking for Comerford. Just opens up for the Phoenix, who are very tight at the moment. They've got Riley Russell making the run down the flank, and Jalen Brown decides to hit one. It wasn't a bad decision from him because the pitch out there is a little bumpy, and you saw the bounce to Matt Trott. Was unsure about where the ball would go. In the end, straight into the breadbasket. Ryan Clark and Chris Faze get in at each other's way. Faze, of course, only just coming to Maitland from Edgeworth mid-season. Matt Comerford. Didn't score last weekend, but he's had a very good season. 4 goals. Though he hasn't scored for a couple of weeks. He came off early in that match against Edgeworth in round 16 2 weeks ago. Hurt the Magpies, but in the end, defensively, they weren't solid enough at the back and conceded in the final minutes of the match. And then a week before that, they conceded twice in the last 12 minutes. So those 4 points, you could say, dropped by Maitland have really hurt them. If they're 4 points better off, they would be equal with Hamilton, who are in 4th place. So they've had to work from behind already. Maitlanders. Matt Thompson. They're doing it all right at the moment, though. Zach Hill goes wide for Tassel. Been playing in the 20s for much of the season, James Tassel, but came into the side with a few injuries. And he slotted in nicely at right back. Here is Dutton Black curling it in. Clark there. Fayes is after it, but Chris Brown beats him to it. Ground to the centre for McGinley and back for Russell, but Matt Thompson scheming around the middle of the park. Almost created something for Maitland. Still, it's his goal, the difference between the sides. Just 3 goals away from the top of the Golden Boot leaderboard, Matt Thompson. It's been an incredible season for Maitland with penalties. They've scored 7 of them. Maitland, on the other hand, I should say Valentine, on the other hand, have scored just 1. So Maitland have been awarded. I know Scott McGinley missed one a couple of weeks ago, but Maitland definitely have been awarded a lot more penalties than Valentine have. The biggest boost to that list was that game against Broadmeadow Magic. It's Dutton Black straight down the middle of the park, a chance to make it 2-0, and Reece Pettit, a crucial tackle. They needed that from the tall centre back, and Maitland, there they were on the counter attack. It was always going to be interesting to see which of these two sides decided that they were going to take on the responsibility of controlling a bit of possession. And it's been Valentine for the last 10-15 minutes or so. Maitland quickly on the counter-attack. Dutton Black whips it in. Edwards flecks it away. And now Daniel Miners, Phil Dando, Maitland's coach, said that when they played in round 7, they started off pretty well. It was actually, that was the only penalty, now that I remember, that Valentine have scored all season in that match against Maitland. They were awarded an early penalty, Valentine. And it was pretty tight after that, and then in the second half they ran away with it to win 4-0, and Phil Dando said it just came at a tough time, that match, where they were playing 2 matches a week after that start to the season, where they had 3 or 4 washed out matches. And in the end, that match, they just weren't quite up for it in the second half, and Valentine ran away with it. Ryan Clark through the centre of the park, across to Comerford. Got Matt Paul ahead of him, and that is a wonderful, wonderful tackle from Matt Paul. Shaved his head. And he is very, very speedy. That'll add to his aerodynamics. It's Josh Dutton Black. Riley Russell, the youngster, doing well to keep with him, but now Dutton Black gets away, curls it in, and Scott Carter, it was neither here nor there, really. He had Comerford very deep, and he had Ryan Clark and Chris Fayes in the middle of the box. Couldn't find any of them. And Chris Fayes quickly onto McGinley. It's around Pettit. It's with Fayers, and Pettit wins out. McGinley looks up the line. And Cameron Burns just going to have a chat to Matt Comerford here. Not quite sure what about. Maybe a disagreement with one of his decisions, I'm thinking. Ryan Clark now to Thornton. Comerford to Clark again. Spent part of the season out with rib injuries. Ryan Clark. Wilson Edwards chipping it over the top. Chris Brown scored a goal like that in round one. A ball over the top from deep in Valentine's half, and was their first goal of the season, the Phoenix. Neatly finished. Ryan Clark wins the free kick. And Valentine, or the Valentine faithful, aren't best pleased with that decision, thinking Clark went to ground pretty softly. Just check those scores at the other venues. Charlestown still leading by a goal to nil against Lambton. And the Jets youth still a goal up at Rockwell Automation Park. So your sense of the Jets youth win that one. The Wooden Spoon will be heading the way of Western. The gap would seem too great to bridge. As Edwards over the top. Valentine, they had a good spell about 10 minutes ago, and now they're just struggling for ideas. Maitland's defence is very, very tight at times. They haven't had a great run of late, Maitland. 2 of their last 7 they've won since that magic match where they won 7-0. Just 2 of the last 7. So I think a lot of people thought after that Maitland would go on and book their place in the finals with a string of victories, but went the opposite way. They really struggled. A loss to Adamstown in there as well, who are sitting in 9th spot on the ladder, who were down in 11th at that point. Riley Russell, his pass in between teammates, and Matt Comerford picks it up. Here's Carroll, squares it up. McGinley, is there a chance here for the Phoenix? Brown squares it up, back to Jalen Brown. Not enough power behind the shot, but better from the Phoenix there. Daniel Minus quickly is there to ensure Sokulski can't get on the ball. Pettit now. Infield for Edwards. But to be honest, a match really that has had a bit of nerve about it. A few nerves on both sides. Neither side able to really create some great chances. Maitland have been the better of the 2 sides. But to be honest, not one that's reached any great heights as Carroll knocks it back for McGinley. So it's better from Valentine, heaps better. Edwards now. Now for Matt Paul. Maitland playing a lot better this afternoon than they did last weekend against Western. Miners now to Edwards. Edwards to Brown, who got cleaned up by James Tassel. The crowd thinking it was a free kick. Cameron Burns, not so. Reece Pettit slips over on the cricket pitch, and Matt Comerford is able to dart down the left edge. Now Ryan Clark again gets away from Alec Faulkner, who pushes him to ground. Skating on thin ice, Faulkner, and now Thompson into the back of Chris Brown. Darren Sills is furious, and here's the feeling. It's taken a while. Brown and Zach Hill, some push and shove. Thompson and Jalen Brown here getting involved. Well, there was no feeling for 34 and a bit minutes, and all of a sudden it's boiled over here at Carl Oval, and Cameron Burns is going to have to deal with it. Still Jalen Brown and Liam Thornton exchanging a difference of opinions. And Jalen Brown may go into the book here, he will. And that'll anger Valentine further. Alec Faulkner, and now Matt Thompson running oval. Here we go. Matt Thompson just having a chat to McGinley. Maybe a little bit of spice added to the contest here now. As it was last season. Pettit trying to thread it through. We mentioned this match means a lot, especially considering Lambton are in trouble against Charlestown, down by a goal to nil. Liam Thornton. Now to Comerford. Sokulski. Takes on Miners. Keeps the ball inside the touchline. A huge spray up of sand there. This ground also, well, here's another decision going against Valentine. And the throw is going to go the way of Maitland. So a bit of frustration here for the home side. This ground also used for rugby league, the Lakes United, the Seagulls, in the local Newcastle Rugby League. The premiers from a couple of seasons ago, 2015 they won it. Valentine with a throw now. Can they get themselves level before the break? Miners goes back to Faulkner. Up and over the top for Russell. He's able to keep it inside the line. And can't get away from Tassel, but he found Matt Paul. And Matt Paul is able to win his side a corner. Less than 8 minutes to go before the break here. Before stoppage time. It's whipped in. Chris Fayer's got there first. Matt Trott, and it's headed in by Reese Pettit. An unlikely goal scorer for the Phoenix, but an important one nonetheless, and it's 1-1. Huge goal for Valentine. And Reese Pettit, he doesn't score many. He scores his first of the season. Didn't score last season either, so what a goal. His first in the top grade. And Maitland just go to sleep. Matt Trott couldn't get out there. There were bodies ahead of him. And he was stranded in the end. And now the energy is with the Phoenix. After they had some decisions they didn't agree with. Jalen Brown scored 7 goals in his last 6. He goes on the spin, gets bumped to ground, wins the free kick. Well, it's all going the Phoenix's way now. Jalen Brown clutching at a knee and a free kick for the Phoenix. So things just turning, the tide turning orange at the moment. After Maitland did so well for the opening 35 minutes. Probably the last thing they wanted to concede. Just after that scuffle, Valentine now with a little bit more energy. And Jalen Brown, he scored from this position 2 weeks ago against Adamstown. But it doesn't suit him this side. Alec Faulkner with the right boot. So the 2 Americans standing over it. Alec Faulkner, the preferred side for him. We'll see if he takes it on. No, it will be Jalen Brown. And Matt Trott is there. And James Tassel takes them on and is fouled. So the crowd into the match now. And Cameron Burns is going to hand out a yellow card for Josh Carroll for kicking the ball away, I think, down in the corner. It's difficult to see from up here down towards that corner, but that's what gather from all that. Another Phoenix player into the book. It's 3 in the first half. Jalen Brown, Josh Carroll and Scott McGinley. And Zach Hill. Can't keep the ball in the line. Inside the line, I should say. It'll be frustrating for Phil Dando and Maitland because probably say in this first half they've, while neither side has really taken the match by the scruff of the neck, Maitland have probably just edged Valentine. And they're level at the moment. And Jalen Brown has got a head up of steam. Matt Trott up over halfway. Wilson Edwards there first. Josh Carroll looking for Brown, who was offside, and he knew it. You know, what a last 6 matches he's had, Jalen Brown. 7 goals. He started the season slowly, and he was surprised to be at the top of the Player of the Year points table. Ryan Clark takes it on. Can't get it off the floor. So he started the season slowly, Jalen Brown. He was surprised he was at the top of the Player of the Year point score after 11 rounds, and now he's really turned it on in the back half of the season. Alec Faulkner. Reese Pettit. Now Jalen Brown, he couldn't find Josh Carroll, and then Liam Thornton plays it probably to the one player in orange you don't want to play it to in a situation like that, but he gets away with it. And Maitland try and get their foot on the ball here. Thompson, Miners brings it down. Sikulski jockeys him. Thornton, so inside 3 minutes before the break here, with probably a minute max of stoppage time. Hasn't been many stoppages, if any. Had the little scuffle, that's probably about it. No injuries, which is good for both sides. Alec Faulkner, now to Paul. Pettit. One of the most important goals of Valentine's season, scored by Reese Pettit a few minutes ago. As Russell chips it forward. McGinley looks over to Carroll. He's got Brown, Chris Brown with him. Goes across to Russell. Now back for Paul. Neat this from the Phoenix. And neat enough to win a free kick. McGinley again asking Chris Brown as well, why is there no card there? It's been only yellow cards for the Phoenix this afternoon. Still McGinley arguing the point with Cameron Burns. It's a little further out, this free kick. And Jalen Brown, I think, is being asked. Yeah, he is being asked to leave this one. Really tough angle on the left boot from out here. So Josh Carroll takes it on instead. And I tell you what, it's not a bad ball. Matt Trott is fouled. Alec Faulkner puts it into the bar. But Matt Trott fouled just before. Inside 70 seconds now before stoppage time now. Tassel takes them on, and his ball is straight over the sideline. The Phoenix have not made the finals since 2010. Question is, can they break the drought this season? They've looked good up to this point. Riley Russell up the line. Maitland, well, they are looking for a finals berth for the last 2 seasons as the 2 number 8s collide. And this time, Matt Thompson. The crowd roars. I haven't heard a roar like it. Even when Reese Pettit scored, the crowd didn't get that excited. And Matt Thompson, he's having a little chuckle about all that. And he gets a yellow card. The first of any Magpie out there this afternoon to go into the book, and he's still having a laugh about it. So here's the funny side. The experienced Maitland midfielder. Miners moves towards the back post. Can they? Surely they couldn't get up 2-1 before the break. That would be an injustice to the Magpies as Comerford. This is this counter-attacking flair that they have, Maitland, McGinley. That's where Valentine have been so good in about the last 15 minutes of this half. They've just stopped the supply, stopped counter-attacks. Probably in front of the halfway line most of the time. Matt Comerford and Ryan Clark really haven't had much space. Josh Dutton-Black as well over on this near side. Stoppage time in the first half. Here's Thornton, takes on Carroll, who is on a yellow card, so he'll need to be careful in the second 45 as Alec Faulkner, under pressure from the speedy Ryan Clark in the green boots. Cameron Burns just checking the watch. He'd sense only seconds left now in the opening half here. Both sides will have to head in and work out how they are going to claim 3 points this afternoon. A draw for Valentine probably isn't too bad for them. I would much prefer the 3 points though. For Maitland, 1 point is not what they want at all. They can't afford to draw this one this afternoon. Thompson. Question is, will they go for the result late on? Push players forward. We'll soon see how important this is to them. And Phil Dando. That awaits us in the second 45. Cameron Burns calls the first 45 to a close. Maitland with the opening goal. Matt Thompson from the penalty spot for his 5th goal from the spot this season. 8 of those scored by Thompson this year. 8 goals is Maitland's leading goal scorer, so only 3 from open play. And for Valentine, surprising, Reese Pettit with the goal just before the break to ensure that it's all square after 45 minutes at Carl Oval. So half-time here at the home of Valentine. It's Valentine Phoenix 1, Maitland Magpies 1. So we're back underway in the second half here at Carl Oval. 45 minutes of football left, and it should be an important 45 minutes for both those two sides. Crucial in their season. Valentine to ensure that they will play finals. Maitland the same, to ensure they'll make the top four. Valentine in the best position to ensure a top four spot. The difference is that a win for Valentine and probably all but assured of a spot in the top four. A win for Maitland only gives them a little bit more hope of making that top four, keeping the dream alive. As Miners over the top for Carroll. And Matt Trott, it's a little bit of a shove on Thornton, who reacts, and Josh Carroll is going to be sent off here. Well, it just got, well, I thought that was, yeah, it is. Definitely a second yellow card for Josh Carroll. And, wow. Darren Sills will be livid with Josh Carroll for that shove in the back of Thornton. I said at the end of the first half he's going to have to be careful. After he gave away a foul right on half-time, and it hasn't taken him long, and he's off. Less than 90 seconds into the second half. And Valentine, in this crucial match, are going to have to play with 10 men for the last 43 plus minutes. Simply can only say a brain explosion from Josh Carroll. And it hands Maitland the ascendancy now. Can they take full advantage of it? Josh Dutton-Black trying to round Russell, who got the boot in. Free kick goes the way of Valentine now. They've had a great record away from Cook Square Park this season. Of Maitland, they've lost just once in 7 matches. Carl Thornton, and that one against the Rosebuds in round 11. 3-1. They've won 4, drawn 2. And at Cook Square Park, they've lost 4, won 3 and drawn 1. So it's been a good record for them when they've ventured away from the top of the hill at Maitland. Thornton now for Comerford. Thompson. He'll know what to do in this situation, Matt Thompson. The opposition down to 10. Hill wide for Tassel. Infield for Faz. Now for Clark. Faulkner flying in, but Tassel's able to keep his feet. And then Russell again. Important interception, but it will be a free kick for Maitland. Just inside the touchline on the far side of the ground. Cameron Burns wants it retaken. So those other scores, Lambton have equalised against Charlestown, so that is 1-1. The Jets Youth, the last score we got against Western at the break was the Jets Youth leading by a goal to 0. An own goal. Reported that it was scored by Jordan Jackson, the Western centre-back. Played so well on Tuesday night, did Jordan Jackson, against the Jets A-League side. So disappointing for him there. Still 45 minutes to rectify the situation for the Bears. They're Caulfield's rivals, Maitland, winning a free kick. Just double check that live score. At Bear Park in just a second as Comerford. Now to Thornton, just can't get contact with it. So Jets Youth and Western, they've had 5 minutes in the second half up there at Western, still 1-0. So 1-1 in all matches in the NPL except that one there this afternoon. A reminder tomorrow, Magic and Adamstown is just be a goal kick for Scott Carter. Magic and Adamstown at Magic Park, and Hamilton and Edgeworth, I should say, at Darling Street. The match of the round tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Myself, Chris Turner and Damien Smith. So Maitland quickly trying to take the free kick here. Zach Hill, wide he goes for Josh Dutton-Black. Now Tassel down the flank. Cuts infield. Finds Ryan Clark on the turn. Now for Tassel, and clearance away from Valentine momentarily. Matt Paul gets stuck under his boot. And Maitland with the free kick. It's not going to be a card for Daniel Miners. Ryan Clark pointing him out and asking for it. The free kick is enough from Cameron Burns. And Josh Dutton-Black, he scored his first goal of the season from a free kick against the Jets youth in round 14, the 6-1 win. And then since then, he scored 2 last weekend to take his tally to 3 for the season. But it won't be Dutton-Black to take it. It'll be Sokulski on his left boot. Whips it in, and not his best effort. Such a tight comp this season in the NPL Northern New South Wales as Chris Brown brings it down last season in 90 regular season matches. So McGinley stayed down here. So Matt Thompson came into his back. And Darren Sills on the touchline is incensed here. I think Thompson's come in the back without seeing a replay here. Come in the back, you can scroll back on your stream. May have just kneed him in the back of the hamstring there. And a yellow card there for Thompson, and he's off. So that's why the crowd just putting a bit of pressure on Cameron Burns to hand out the second yellow, and then it's back to 10 on 10. Equal numbers on each side. So I'm sure any challenge Matt Thompson makes in the second half is going to come under a lot of scrutiny from the crowd here. Carl Oval. Here is Thornton. Back for Trott. Goes high into the overcast sky. And Valentine with the free kick. Yeah, back to the tighter competition this year, as we just got distracted by the tension in the match all of a sudden, as Comerford with the interception. Last year, 90 regular season matches, 344 goals. This year, we're already up to 86, of course, with the extra side, so more matches played this year. 86 games and 291 goals, so much tighter competition this year. So Ryan Clark takes on Faulkner, he used his body well, and I thought he may have won the free kick. It'll just be a corner. Josh Dutton-Black scored from a corner last weekend against Western. Curled it inside the near post. See if he can do so here. Gets plenty of curl on his corners, Dutton-Black. Here's Thompson. Now for Clark, lovely touch from Clark, and now Sokulski. Well blocked by Edwards, but what a ball from Clark. And Thompson just couldn't, stood on the ball in the end. And McGinley, he's got some treatment. Scott McGinley this afternoon. He's been in the wars. Reese Pettit goes long. And the free kick for Valentine. So Reese Kyra, the new Valentine recruit, is about to make his way into the game here. He's come up from the Central Coast, last play with Gosford City, just with some mates. Now he's come up for some... Here's Jalen Brown. Just puts it wide. He's come up here for some better competition, really, in the NPL Northern New South Wales. A step up, a massive step up from playing with his mates at Gosford, and here's his chance to have an impact on the proceedings this afternoon and on the destiny of Valentine in the back half of the season. So Chris Brown, it's a rousing applause from the home crowd. Kyra played at Wanderers. He's a foundation player at the Western Sydney Wanderers, played at Wellington Phoenix. Speak about Josh Dutton-Black from Maitland being part of the Southampton Youth Academy. Well, Reese Kyra was part of the Aston Villa Youth Development Squad. He's 24 years of age now. Matt Trott now off the ground. Just a couple of games for the Wanderers. Kyra played a few more. About 11 for Wellington Phoenix. Just couldn't quite break through into the A-League. Chris Fayers wide for Comerford. Infield for Thornton. Still Liam Thornton, who scored his first goal of the season against the Jets youth in round 14. Comerford now for Clark. So dangerous, Ryan Clark. Here is Dutton Black, and he makes Valentine pay. Down to 10 men, and now down on the scoreboard, the Phoenix. And there's the celebration with Ryan Clark again. I'm not quite sure what it means. We'll have to get to the bottom of it. It was out in force last weekend. A reverse teapot maybe is Ryan Clark. There's a bit of a chuckle about it, and an important goal for Maitland.
Goal to Josh Dutton-Black.
That's 3 goals in 2 matches for Dutton-Black now. He's finding his feet in the NPL in a big way. And 4 goals for him in his last 4 matches. And it's going to be an uphill battle for Valentine now, with just 10 men down by a goal. And really, just no one at the back post there. Scott Carter. They have got a very, very tough run, Valentine, over their last 3 matches. After this one, they have got Hamilton Olympic in 2 weeks' time, Edgeworth the week after that. Then they play Western, so 2 really tough matches coming up. And if we're saying about 35 points, 36 will get you in the top, the top 4. Valentine are on 31 at the moment, so they need at least 4 points, you sense. Edwards with the throw. Now Daniel Miners just hoofs it over the top. Kyra could get on the end of it. He did, but no one central for him. Tassel brings it away for Maitland. Sikulski, he's been strong in the middle of the park, Matt Sikulski. Haven't seen a lot of Maitland's younger players, but their under-20s this year are doing very well in the top 4 of the under-20s competition. So there's a lot to look forward to for Maitland. Got a very, very experienced side. As Miners bumps Sikulski to ground, and out comes the card from Cameron Burns. Another Phoenix player seeing yellow. Here's Comerford curling it in. Rises Josh Dutton-Black at the back post. And just the goal kick. Now Cameron Burns has given Alec Faulkner a yellow card for back chat, dissent, whatever you want to call it. The frustration has reached boiling point for Valentine now. Aaron Sills has got to calm down this side because he doesn't want any more red cards. Josh Carroll already has been sent off for a second yellow for the push on Carl Thornton right at the start of this half, and he'll miss the next match automatically. Here's Comerford darting infield. If they grab another one, Maitland, it'll be all over. Valentine won't be able to find 2 goals with 10 men against Maitland, who are very strong at the back when they need to be this season. They've had moments where they just lapsed at the back, but you sense when they really need to. They'll tighten up. Reese Pettit, the free kick. Conceded 22 this year, Maitland, in 15 matches. So a pretty good defensive record. Thornton. Up he goes. Sokulski. No changes for Phil Dando and Maitland yet. Sokulski takes on Edwards. Still holding the ball up. Edwards somehow keeps his feet and wins the throw out of all of that. Jalen Brown brings the ball down. There's 1 man in the competition you'd want in your side, down to 10 men, and needing someone to score on the counter-attack. It's Jalen Brown, but on that occasion gives away the free kick. Matt Thompson pulling the strings this afternoon. There's a lovely ball from Tassel to Dutton-Black. Riley Russell's got some ground to make up. Josh Dutton-Black over the top for Comerford. He's got Sokulski, he's got Fayez. Sokulski can't get the shot where he wants it. Thornton. And now Edwards. Spent some time with a few of these Maitland players at Western. Carl Thornton and Liam Thornton. Ryan Clark now back for Fayez. And now Thompson. Matt Thompson can't keep the shot down. Got a piece of that as well. Went sailing over into the back fence. Almost out of the ground. His goal, the opening one this afternoon, Matt Thompson from the penalty spot. Josh Dutton-Black with the second for Maitland. And Reese Pettit with the equaliser before half-time for Valentine. Here's Thornton. Steps back infield and straight to Miners. And here's a chance for Valentine through Jalen Brown. He's got white shirts ahead of him. Wide for Kyra. Takes on the shot. And not one of his best efforts on that left boot. Played at left back primarily in his A-League career, but he's moved up the ground by Darren Sills. Here's Clark. Finds Comerford. Reese Pettit just looks over the top for Brown. And it's too easy, that, for Carl Thornton, the Maitland skipper. Was also the captain at Western, back when he was playing with Wilson Edwards, his brother Liam. Dutton-Black on the turn. Wins the free kick. Less than 25 to go now. Check those scores at the other grounds. Lambton and Charlestown. They're locked at 2-2 after Lambton got the go-ahead goal through Joel Griffiths, and Charlestown have replied just a couple of minutes ago. So an exciting contest at Arthur Eden Oval. And up at Western, Fayers calls this one in. It's for Sokulski and Comerford. Up at Bear Park, it's still the Jets leading by a goal to 0. Comerford now to Sokulski as the sun just poking out after it's been a mainly overcast day here around the Hunter region. It's Clark, it's deflected cross off the boot of Wilson Edwards. Comerford goes back to Thornton and now Hill. Russell back for Reese Pettit. Just goes over the top, but Maitland have got numbers back behind the ball. 5 men there. 4 out of the back line, and Matt Thompson as well. You sense Matt Thompson, just his experience now, with the side down to 10 men. He's going to make them pay here. Plenty of space for Maitland on a huge pitch as well. Carlover, one of the biggest pitches in the competition in the NPL Northern New South Wales. And Valentine down to 10 men. That has to hurt. Dan Casaroli it was for Charlestown, who equalised for them against Lambton. So things not going the way of the Jaffers. Matt Paul. Now for Thompson and Hill. Comerford. Both sides' defences being pretty strong this afternoon as this one whipped in towards Sokulski. Hardly any chance has been created as Dutton Black. Reese Pettit with the header away. No golden chances, maybe some half chances here and there. Both sides have snuffed out each other pretty well. It's Jalen Brown. Takes them on down the left, wins the free kick. And Dutton Black will get away scotch-free again here. So Matt Paul gets a good piece of the free kick. Hill sits up, Miners, slices it wide. Gee, would have loved to have his time over again there, Daniel Miners. Just couldn't keep it on target. Here's Ryan Clark nodding it on. So just for the ladder at the moment, the live ladder with Lambton and Charlestown level. So Lambton staying second. It's Valentine with the free kick. Edgeworth up the top with 33. Lambton still second on 33. Edgeworth with a better differential. Valentine third on 31. Olympic fourth on 28. Maitland fifth on 27. And Magic 6th on 27. So could it be much tighter in those 6 spots in the race? 6 into 4. It doesn't quite go. There'll be 2 sides that will be close by who will be rather disappointed they didn't make the 4 this year. We'll find out who it will be. And the picture after this afternoon will probably be a little bit murkier as Riley Russell straight to Matt Trott. Here's Chris Fayes. Now Comerford and Maitland to throw. Happy with the status quo at the moment, the Magpies. I just want a bit of assurance here because with Jalen Brown up front, Valentine could strike at any time. Back for Reese Pettit. He's been kept relatively quiet this afternoon. Jalen Brown. Miners almost got himself into a bit of a pickle, and again Sikulski comes back. Miners turns away from him. Did well there, Daniel Miners, and Reese Pettit again going over the top. And now it sits up for Kyra. That was fortuitous for Valentine. Paul, and now Jalen Brown with a touch to bring it down. They've got some space over on the left. Jalen Brown takes it on. It's an absolute thunderbolt from Valentine's leading goal scorer. What a strike. 2-2 at Carl Oval. Well, that has inspired the home side here. And Maitland now. Again, they're going to have to get themselves in front. Jalen Brown, he had Riley Russell on the left. He took it on himself. And didn't he make it count? One of the goals of the season from one of the players of the season. Ryan Clark quickly into action for Maitland. So 2-2 here. We're following the scoreline at Arthur Redden Oval. Scott Carter after it. He gets there, Scott Carter. The crowd right into it. Valentine backs to the wall here. Down to 10 men. And Reese Kyra. His pass lets him down, but it was him in the middle of the park who won the ball and allowed Jalen Brown the chance to score. And all of a sudden, Maitland's season just begins to slip away. There's Jalen Brown. Gee whiz. Gets the ball before it touches the sideline. Hasn't he got some speed? And Matt Trott is a wonderful goalkeeper. The Magpies' #1. He couldn't get near it. There's Kyra. Is he going to go into the book? He is. For the tug on Dutton Black. Another card for the Phoenix. They are mounting up this afternoon. And Valentine, another goal worthy of goal of the week from Jalen Brown. We saw Daniel Miners a week and a half ago. They don't score many bad goals, the Phoenix. And that record here at Carl Oval, where they've lost just once this season, and they've shown fight again this afternoon. They've been behind plenty of occasions this season and fought back, and the running is with them, although they've only got 10 men now. With 11, you'd probably say they've got the momentum to the go-ahead goal here, but down to 10 men, maybe not so. And with this man, Ryan Clark, causing some problems. And Matt Comerford, here's a chance for Maitland to level it up. And Clark can't keep it in. It crossed the byline first before he could cut it back. So what a final 15.5 minutes it sets up. It hasn't been a match which has reached any great heights, but some moments of individual skill have been crucial for both sides. Just split seconds, really. Both sides' defences have done well to snuff out any sort of detailed build-up. Seeing that strike from Jalen Brown, even Ryan Clark taken down in the box. And Reese Pettit's goal from the set piece. So both Valentine's goals, you could say. come a bit out of the blue, but they have created enough. Chris Fayers comes to the touchline. Jai McKellar is on. 3 goals in the FFA Cup this season. None in the NPL Northern New South Wales. Spent some time at the Jets Youth. Out of Maitland, where he plays in spits and spurts. He's missed the last few matches, McKellar. Here's the long throw from Edwards. Flicked on by McGinley. Thompson away. Almost sits up for McGinley. Sikulski. And now Dutton Black. Surely they've got to throw some caution to the wind. Maybe go 3 at the back here, Maitland, as Dutton Black pushes forward with Valentine down to 10 men. And their season on the line. But still, they've got 4 men back. Matt Thompson screening in front of them. So we'll see if anything changes. 13 and a bit minutes. Liam Thornton. Appeals for handball from the crowd. Darren Sills' arms go up to the air. For not the first time this afternoon, Reece Kyra, strong, he gets through and knocks over Matt Thompson. And Cameron Burns is going to go and have a chat to that man who... No, he's not going to have a chat here to Darren Sills. I think he is. And Cameron Burns takes off the headpiece and has a chat to Darren Sills. And Darren Sills, I think, just telling his bench there just to calm it down here for the next 12 and a half minutes plus stoppage time. It's been fairly animated this afternoon, the Valentine bench. Some of the refereeing decisions have received plenty of yellow cards this afternoon. Thornton. Here is Hill. Now Liam for the run down the line. Sikulski again. Shoulder to shoulder, the 217s go. Edwards away from Sikulski. Comerford straight back to Liam Thornton. Thornton instead. And Valentine with the free kick. And Sills again animated on the touchline. Kicking the ball away. Cameron Burns is going to have a chat now to McGinley. Just trying to defuse the situation. It's the toughest job this time of the season for the referees because there is so much on the line. Decisions just crucial. McGinley, Maitland playing very compact at the back. Brown, ball sits up. McGinley. There's Reece Kyra over on the left with acres of space. Because there is acres of space here at Carl Oval. So Brown into the middle. And Tassel does well to defuse the situation, the young right back. And then beats Kyra. But can't beat Riley Russell, but he'll be back on the ball in a second and gets the pass through Kyra. That's what Valentine were doing so good at the back end of the first half. They were stopping those balls to allow Clark and Dutton Black on the counter-attack. And the Valentine faithful appreciate that defence. So Lambton and Charlestown at 2-2 still. Casaroli with the equaliser. And the scoreline at Rockwell Automation Park. Still the same with 10 minutes to go there. Western down by a goal to 0 against the Jets Youth. The ladder makes for interesting reading at the moment, but can't be sure of anything with 9.5 minutes to go. Valentine, a reminder, goals for them, Reese Pettit and Jalen Brown. If you missed it, you missed a special. Here he is again, Jalen Brown. He won't be able to reel that one in. And for Maitland, Matt Thompson from the penalty spot and Josh Dutton-Black at the back post. So Maitland led 1-0 and 2-1. It was 1-1 at the break. And Josh Carroll was sent off just after the break for a second yellow card after he gave Carl Thornton a nudge in the back, which was deemed too heavy by Cameron Burns and given his second yellow card. Here's Miners. Rides the challenge, and Faulkner back for Scott Carter. It was a similar scoreline. Very similar. Last year against between those two sides in round 2, it was 2-2. Matt Thompson scored in stoppage time. Valentine and Maitland fans will remember it very well. Back pass to Bayana Marco. Cleared it into Matt Thompson, who tapped home to win the match 3-2 for Maitland. They would love a third here, Maitland. Cameron Burns plays advantage. Jalen Brown looking into the sun is Kyra as he brings the ball down. Reese Kyra takes on Tassel. Corner kicked for Valentine. Sam Rossi about to make his way onto the park. For Maitland, Reese Thompson just readying his substitution. Maitland, assistant coach down there. Ben Martin also getting ready. Here it is, called in by Kyra. Matt Trott, strong in the air. And now Matt Comerford. What a throw that is from Matt Trott. 40 metres on the fly. And now here's the chance for Maitland to go ahead. Riley Russell. He burst onto the scene last season with a goal against Lambton at Arthur Eden Oval to win the game 3-2. And he has been a standout this afternoon at left back for Valentine. So Matt Sikulski, here's another young player. The young men out there this afternoon have stood tall on both sides. Matt Sikulski comes off. Sam Rossi goes on. Ben Martin will come on, and Matt Comerford will leave the park. Sam Rossi. Now to Matt Trott. Probably the biggest 6 minutes and 15 seconds plus stoppage time of both these sides' seasons to date. A draw for Valentine. Well, they prefer 3 points. A draw is not too disappointing for them. But Dutton-Black curls it towards the back post. It sits up in the long grass here at Carl Oval, almost for Ryan Clark, and cleared over the touchline. Maitland a draw. Things are made very difficult for them. They have 4 matches to go after this. They'll be on 25 points with the draw. There's Martin with the touch. Here's Clark. Sits up. McKellar. And Carter gobbles it up. They were nervous in the stands there as Scott Carter went down. He took it brilliantly. Scott Carter over the top. Thornton wide for Tassel. Now for Zach Hill. Darts away from Brown. Is there a final twist this afternoon? Ben Martin, here he is. I thought a handball. And it was a handball, according to Cameron Burns as well. He just tried to bring it down and up onto the arm. Scored some huge goals in 2014 against Valentine, Ben Martin. Reese Pettit to Scott McGinley. Will he come back and haunt them again? Riley Russell, probably one of the best players on the park this afternoon. Miners over the top. Jalen Brown, can he bring it down? He's pushed wide by Thornton. On the turn, he's got McGinley at the back post. He takes on the strike. Why wouldn't you after scoring from distance to lock it up at 2-2? Josh Dutton-Black now, infield. Again, he has been great for Maitland this afternoon. Liam Thornton to that man, Josh Dutton-Black. McKellar scored the winner last week. Josh Dutton-Black, he's on the ball again. Can he set it up? Reese Pettit. That was important. Ensures there won't be a corner just yet. Dutton-Black down to the byline. Cuts it back. Now McKellar on the edge of the 18. Thompson back for Martin. And Russell with the block. A small left back puts his body on the line. Here's the corner taken quickly. Carter was as if he had glue on those gloves there. Such as the ease he took that one. And now the throw to McGinley. It's 2-on-2 for Valentine. Jalen Brown is with him. He goes to Brown. Can he win it for Valentine? Brown! A brilliant save from Matt Trott. Tremendous from the experienced Magpies gloveman. And that may have just kept their hopes of making the Final Four flickering. A draw this afternoon doesn't end Maitland's hopes. But they're going to have to win every match remaining. Simple as that. That'll be the equation for them. Dutton-Black. They'll want to make sure they don't have to do that. McKellar. Wide for Clark. Clark can't keep his shot down. It'll be a goal kick for Scott Carter. And Alex Serapis is about to make his way onto the park. Still 2-2 the scoreline at Arthur Redden Oval. So as it stands at the moment, Valentine will stay in third, just a point behind Lambton, who are in second. So 2-2 here, 2-2 at Arthur Redden Oval. And the Jets Youth and Western. Just double check that scoreline. It is 1-0 still with a couple of minutes left in regulation time at Bear Park. Pettit goes long. That injury for Scott Carter. The reason why Reese Pettit taking the goal kick. That thigh injury forced him to miss 5 matches. Perry Budden in goals, now sitting on the bench. So here is Alec Faulkner. Chipping it forward. Reese Pettit scored the opener. Back for Miners. Now Serapis. Basically his first touch. Serapis! Fires just wide. And trot away to Thornton. Inside the final minute of regulation time. Brown collects Thornton. Sam Rossi. Now to Zach Hill. Still be a few minutes of stoppage time. The substitutions as well. Valentine the throw. If you've just joined us, Valentine 10 men on the park for them. Josh Carroll sent off just after half-time. So they've been out there with 10 men for a long, long time. Here's Dutton-Black. Now for Thornton. Squares it up. Clark, and knocked away momentarily by the Phoenix. Is it going to return? It'll go over the touchline. Maitland the throw. Valentine fans disagree, as they would. Here's Dutton Black. Swerves to the middle. Now for McKellar. Here's Clark. Sets it up. Thompson! And he puts it just wide. It was the moment for Matt Thompson. Just hanging on at the moment, Valentine. Still the scoreline 2-2. It has finished at Lambton. Charlestown, a strong performance from them. Matt Thompson wins the free kick, so that one's all done and dusted. 1-0 still the Jets and Western. We'll bring that full-time score to you as soon as it is full-time here. Zach Hill, maybe the last chance for Maitland. Still got Jalen Brown up near halfway. And Martin goes down in the box. Serapis now goes wide. The crowd roar because they see 2-on-1. Miners goes from distance. And it's just going to go wide of goal. He had Jalen Brown over on the left. He took it on himself, Daniel Miners. He went for the glory play, and it didn't come off. It's one of those ones that maybe you wish you have back and you go wide to Jalen Brown. Probably wasn't the worst option from him, but the execution let him down. So Ben Martin be advised here just to take his time, because Matt Thompson, we know his prowess from the free kick, as well as Josh Dutton Black as well, although it isn't on the preferred side for the right footers. The stand hold their breath. Josh Dutton Black. Can he be the hero? Played with Theo Walcott and Gareth Bale over in the UK. We've seen Bale score plenty from here. Can Dutton Black do similar? He can't. It sits up. And here is the speed of Valentine. They're charging after it. Dutton Black into legs. On the break, they're hunting a third. Matt Paul runs over the top of Tassel. And Maitland go wide. Thompson. Miners gets the boot in. Sits up for McKellar. Does he take it on? Squares it up. Dutton Black. Can't get the shot on target. Cameron Burns. A whistle to mouth. And it's a crucial point for the Phoenix after going down to 10 men. And a disappointing one for the Magpies. Valentine stay in third. And while they are not assured of a place in the finals, a point gets them that little step closer. For Maitland, they sit 3 points adrift from the top four. We'll be hoping for an Edgeworth victory tomorrow. Or Hamilton in fourth could potentially go 6 points clear of them. And that is now 3 consecutive matches for Maitland, where they have been unable to take down Valentine. So disappointing for the Magpies in the end. They were beaten 4-0 by Valentine in round 7 this afternoon. A little better for them, but still they don't get the cookies. So just grab that score at Bear Park, at Rockwell Automation Park at Western. So the Jets Youth and Western, that one has finished 1-0 to the Jets. So the Jets with 3 points there. That basically will assure that Western will get the wooden spoon, you would think, with Western 4 matches left. The Jets Youth 3. And they've got to play on Tuesday night against Lake Macquarie. So they're 5 points clear now. So Western are going to have to win a lot of their remaining matches to ensure that they don't finish bottom. And based on their season, you probably don't see that happening. But another a really, really tight defeat for the Bears. They've been unfortunate the last few weeks. 2-2 Lambton and Charlestown at Arthur Eden Oval in the other match this afternoon. And here at Carl Oval, Valentine down to 10 men at the start of the second half. Fight back from a goal down to draw 2-2. Edgeworth up the top of the ladder, first on 33 points. Lambton in second on 33, but Lambton have played 2 more matches than Edgeworth. So you think if Edgeworth win tomorrow, the minor premiership could be all over the race for the top spot. Valentine third on 32. They've also played 2 more matches than Edgeworth, and they've also played 2 more matches than Hamilton, who are in fourth on 28. Broadmeadow 5th, 27. Maitland 6th on 25. Lake Macquarie 7th on 22, and the rest. Charlestown 16 points, Adamstown 13, Jets Youth 9, and Western on 7. So Valentine, they've got a 2-week break, and they will be back against Hamilton in 2 weeks' time. The Magpies play Lake Macquarie next weekend, and in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks' time they will face off against Broadmeadow Magic. So some crucial matches to come. A reminder: tomorrow the match of the round is Hamilton Olympic hosting Edgeworth, 2:30 p.m. live from Darling Street Oval. I'll be there with Chris Turner and Damien Smith. And the other match tomorrow, Adamstown Rosebuds head to Magic Park to take on Broadmeadow, who are in some form at the moment. So full time here at Carl Oval, Valentine Phoenix 2, Maitland Magpies 2.